What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. And I got another mod here for the GC. I think I need a little bit more lights. So here's what I have. I have a set of aftermarket fog lights in the bezels. They are M3 taped in. They do have the DRLs here, ring. Unfortunately I do not have the DRL relay, so maybe I was thinking I could just put it to an auxiliary power and they would turn on with the car. The bad is that it will possibly be on all the time, which is not a possibility. It will be on all the time, but that's okay. But here we have the red and the white are the DRLs, which I think I'm going to see if I can wire these to possibly the cigarette lighter, since it comes on with the car, so I don't have to tear my whole car down to try to add it to the auxiliary switch to the ignition or anything, because that would just be too much and I don't want to mess that up. And then here is the main power for the fog light, and I do have a switch. You can see it, it's a little dark, but there's a little switch right there. You can see that little bit of redness. Sorry, it's dark. And we're gonna see what we can do. As you've seen, I do have a switch in there, and I'm going to put it to the toggle switch for the main fog lights to turn on, and the DRL rings will hopefully turn on with the car if I wire them to the cigarette lighter piece. But for now, I'm gonna got some wire, and I'm going to measure out some wire to go inside the car to the switch and to the cigarette lighter piece, which now people just use it as a 12-volt power source. So we're gonna try and do that. So let's go ahead and go get some wire, and we're gonna measure out some wire and continue from there. Okay, so here we got our 3-prong toggle switch, which you like how I fit that in there, just shoved it right in there. But as you can see, the brass fitting here on the top is your ground. The middle is the source from the battery, and the bottom is the source going to the lights. So this is where we're going to have our fog lights hooked to, and it should work, hopefully. But we're going to go ahead. Obviously I don't really have any connectors, I don't think, that fit that. I might have to look, but if I don't, I might just do the old school trick of wire looping and taping, which is not a very effective way of doing it because it will probably eventually fall out, not get a very good connection. But for now, we're just going to try it that way, and then somewhere down the line here I will redo this connector with actually connecting ends that fit. But here we go. So here I have some wire. It is measured to the back of the door to a little bit ahead of the front, because I'd rather have some extra wire than not enough. But in this part we're going to go ahead and get set up for the DRLs here. We're going to go ahead and take this piece apart here. We're going to take the plastics off, the shift knob and everything, and we're going to take out the center piece here, and down here you see the 12-volt connector here, the DC, I guess it's called the DC power. And we're going to go ahead and wire the DRLs to this. So let's go ahead and start taking this center piece out. First you take out your cup holders. Usually there's clips in there, you gotta hit, like push in for the whole thing to come out, but this one was broke. Yay for me. And then we're gonna take out a screw on this side. That's a Phillips head. And there's also one on the opposite side that is a Phillips head. Sorry about the lighting. For some reason, my dome light, it just went out, so there's no lighting. But over here, as you see where my hand at, there's a screw here you take out. And my finger was in the way. Okay, for this next part, we're just going to unscrew this here. This aftermarket shift knob. Momo. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to pop out this centerpiece, pull it off, and there should be, sorry it's hard to see, but in between here there is a screw where my finger is here, that's a Phillips, and a screw here where my finger is, that's a Phillips head. We could take these two out and this whole centerpiece should pop right out. Be much nicer if I had a power screwdriver, but always broke. That's why it's a budget bill. Okay, now this piece here should pop right out. Go ahead and pull, and there we go. Now our centerpiece is out. I'm just going to set this in the back, and hold on here. Let me see if I can get some better lighting, and then I will show you the next part. Oh, you gotta love being a recording segment noob, I guess you want to call it, or a camera noob. Phone has a light on it. Ding dong. Did not know I could use it with my videos, but now I do. Good to know. But as you can see here, these 4 screws here. We're going to take these screws out, and we should be able to slide this whole centerpiece out and be able to get to the wires for the DC 12 volt socket. And hopefully that will do what I need. But we're going to go ahead, I'm going to take these screws out, and then we'll go ahead and show you after I get the centerpiece out where we're going to wire it and which wire is what. Okay, now that we have it out, this green wire down here with the red stripe is your positive, and of course the black is your negative. And they are 18 gauge wire, which is what I have down there on the floor. And I'm just going to pull the prongs out, try to splice them into here, and hook them up and see if the light comes on. So let's go ahead and check that out real quick and see what happens. Okay, I have the wires set in here just to test it to make sure, because if this don't work, I'm not gonna take the time and put all the wire all the way up to here and everything. So here is the light. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the camera light off here, and we're going to see if it turns on. Here we go. Turn the key. Whoa, yeah, look at that. Turned right on. Really bright. But now that we know that it works, I'm gonna go ahead and get it set up, wire the wiring up, and continue on. Okay, so here's how I have the wires ran. And what I did here is I took out this corner light here and I shoved it down in here to go down there, and then I ran it up and shoved it where the headlight is, underneath the headlight bracket, and through that hole there. It came out here. We're going to run it alongside the fender wall. I'll tuck this in later where the fender is. And then we're going to go ahead, as you see I have a bunch of extra wire going down to the floor. We're going to shove it through this grommet right here, and we're gonna go ahead and push it through to see if I can get it to the DC 12 bolt and wire it in. Okay, now that I have it wired in here, it goes right through that grommet right there where the gas pedal is, and then we're going to shove it through right here so we can get it to go through here and wired to those. And then the other side, we're just going to connect the other DRLs that go on the other side. We're just going to connect it to the same wire that these ones go to, and they should work. So let's go ahead and shove this wire up through here and get it wired into that. Okay, now that we have the wire ran through here, as you can see, it's through this hole back here. We have plenty of extra wire. I mean, I could cut it a little bit, which I might. I'm gonna check outside to see if I get myself enough, but as you see, there's no wire near the gas pedal. It is ran up through here and up, and it's nice and tight, so it will not touch the gas pedal. But we're also going to see if I can let some slack and possibly tie it to something so it won't come near the gas pedal. And it should be okay, but better safe than sorry. And we're also going to run the normal fog lights to the battery the same way, but it's going to go up through here and into this switch panel. So this is going to be a challenge for me, this panel here. I don't know if I should just take the whole plastic off, see if I can get some wire that I can shove down in there to have it come down to here, and tape the power wiring and pull it through. But I guess maybe I should just pull it off, this piece off here, and do it that way. Undo these connectors that are behind this. There's one there. As you see, that is the original fog light switch, which I am not going to mess with at all, which goes into this first one here, which is right here. The very first one. You can actually order a normal switch if you like and wire up the normal fog lights, or if you want to play with the actual car wiring and cut up wires and do the aftermarket ones, you're more than welcome to go ahead. But in this case, I am not doing it that way. I am going from the battery to a toggle. And don't forget, on this side, there are clips you need to take out here. There is a top one for your rear defroster, and if you have the power mirror, there's the connector there, which is the double one down there, and that little one right there goes to the defroster. But also got to warn, if you do take this one out, even though I didn't because the clip was kind of a pain to get to, because the release clip is on the other side for some reason. But if you forget to plug this one in, which is your hazards, your blinkers will not work. So be sure to plug that back in. I'm gonna go ahead and get some wire, push some wire through there. It should come down there in the corner. If you see that opening, push a piece of wire through there, and then tape the power wiring for the toggle switch and pull it through with normal wire, and we can go ahead and wire it up. I'm eventually gonna have to do it, I think, twice, because there's gonna be one main power wire that is gonna go from the battery to here. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, as you can see, there is my wire sticking out there. I ran it through there, and it is right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to tape this main power wire to this and pull it straight on through. So let's go ahead and tape the wire up and I'll see you after I get the wiring through. Okay, as you can see, I have the wire pulled through, and I am going to leave it extra like that for when I have to take this panel off again. I can pull my switch out and unhook it because it's not going to be accessible from the back. So that's why I'm going to leave this extra. But now that we have it ran through, I'm going to have to get the power wire to the battery from here through here. So we're going to do the same thing I did with this wire. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so now after I pulled the wires through for the main fog lights, I'm already wiring up the DRLs. As you can see, the red wire I have hooked to, well, with the light it's kind of blinding, but how I hooked the positive is with this wire there is a stripe with a solid stripe, white striped. I'm using that as a positive, as the positive on the 12 volt is a striped also. So the solid wire here is my ground. I wired them up together from here to here. Did the same thing. This is just the DRLs. I went in here, went and stripped, tied it into there, and we're going to go ahead and turn the ignition on and see if the lights come on. So here we go. And boom, ignition is on. And it looks like our lights are on. Awesome. There they are. So now I'm going to tape these up from the exposed wires. I'm going to tape the exposed wires up, and then we're going to start on the fog lights. But now these are going to stay on every time I turn the car on. So I'm glad that worked. Let's move on. Okay everyone, I have the lights off in the garage. There's my heater. So here is how bright just the DRLs are. Just sitting on the floor, those are really bright for DRLs, which is going to be kind of cool. I got that part done. We're going to go ahead and wire up our switch. So we're going to grab our switch here, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to wire them up. Okay, and we're back. Here's how I have the fog lights wired up. Kind of like I normally do. It looks like a jumbled up mess, but I'll fix this later. The stripe wire with the stripe on it is the positive, which is a red wire on here, and the ground is a solid. I ran an extra ground up to the battery, and for the ground, because you have to ground the lights. It won't work if you just run the normal ground wire to the switch. And here is the passenger side one. I just ran a wire from this side to the driver's side. Set up the same. Striped wire positive, solid wire negative. And it's all hooked up to the battery. Let's go ahead and go flick the switch and see if they come on. There's the switch. Oops, switch is on. And looks like the lights are on. And this is only the inner part of the fog light. And there's the passenger side one. They are both on. There you have it, guys. The fog lights are on. They're in the bezels. They're good to go. Let's go ahead and check them out, shall we? Okay. Here is where the ignition is on. We're going to turn the fog light switch on. Fog lights are on. There you have it, everyone. That is it for this install of these fog lights. I will have a link in the description below of where I got them, and if you like them, give the video a big thumbs up. Also, this summer this car is gonna go through some big changes, so stay tuned for that. You know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, and see you in the next one.